over here is another kickboxing show I did. My son Omar AbDallah became a light heavyweight champ of the world. And this is when Ali fought Joe Frazier, the Thriller in Manila. That's the poster with me up there. I was the first karate man ever to fight on pay-per-view on a world championship boxing show. That's
someone put that on YouTube. I saw.
Right.
I saw a lot of it on YouTube.
Right. What's up? And this, I just have my archive around here with different world champions. Jersey Joe Walcott is over there. That's what year is that? In the 1931, something like that? No, 1951. Here.
You don't even talk about this, man.
No, and when I did the thing with Wesley Snipes, tribute to the Masters, he picked out the ones that he recognized that was real masters. And of course, I was the only one in New Jersey. Here we have Muhammad Ali. This picture here is he was in Peking. That was the first day he went back to his camp years ago, and I was in his camp at that particular time. Let me see what year it was. It was in 1980. Three-time heavyweight champ. It was March the 31st, 1980.
You took this picture?
I photographed him.
And Roy Jones?
Yeah, Roy Jones, that was in Mississippi. He had fought a guy named Hanson, I think. And the series of pictures is just before he knocked him down. You can see I'm a good photographer because I caught him as he was punching him, as the guy was going down. Boom. This is when he first came in the ring. I shot that, and after being victorious.
I see you shoot some other things too.
Oh yeah, well I'm a photographer, so from sports to fashion to anything I can really shoot. But my passion is martial art. I started photography first, martial arts second, but promotion and photography, goes together, intertwined with me. I learned how to promote by just watching a man named Teddy Powell years ago. He used to give rock and roll shows. And I saw a show one time, and I wanted to be a promoter. And then I started working for him, just delivering chairs and putting chairs up. And then before you know it, he had me in a booth selling tickets.
Okay.
And then I used to go to his office. He used to talk to me. He used to call me Top Town because I used to give shows, around the town, a rock and roll show. But I never imagined that I would be at this point with martial art. Because when I first started karate, the only thing I wanted to be was a world champion. But
so you started as a fighter? I
started as a fighter. And that's the only thing I wanted. I never wanted to teach anybody. I wanted to beat people up. And I made it to great heights. And after my teacher died in a plane crash and everything, I stayed away for about a year. Little kids in the project encouraged me actually to come back to teach. And I started teaching, and I've been doing it ever since. And while teaching, I used to be self-promoted. I promoted myself.
Okay.
And that's how I fought for the world championship. I had some guys called Cornerstone promoters to take a tape of me just talking and training. And Don King put that together and put me on the world championship in karate contact. First black man in history to ever fight on a pay-per-view and for a world championship in karate. Nobody has done it since then. And that was 11 rounds.
At that time, had you created your own style, or was that after?
No, that was during the time.
Okay.
That was during the time. But I was on, over 55 million people viewed me on that particular fight. All that was great and everything, but I always promoted. And when it was time for me to back away, I was still teaching, I said, I wanted to produce champions. I worked with the former light heavyweight champ Eddie Mustafa Muhammad when he won the championship from Marvin Johnson. I was his condition man. I worked with Yaki Lopez when he fought Saad Muhammad. Saad Muhammad was a monster back then. And that was the fight of the year.
Yeah.
So, and I went through the amateur training fighters. So I've been doing this, call me a gym rat, I've been doing this for a long time. And one day I was looking at the cage fights. I was sitting in that seat right there. And I said to myself, boy, I'm not going to let these people come in and make all the money with the trade I know. So I gave my first mixed martial art amateur fight not knowing anything about, the mixed martial art guys. And they gave me a hard way to go. I used to call them to put matches together, and they say, well, who are you? I said, well, who am I? I said, go on YouTube and put my name on there, and you'll see who I am. And it may sound arrogant, it may sound boastful, but that's how I had to approach some of these guys, because they thought they was above a guy they didn't know when they found out who I was, and then my respect came. And then they saw how fine my promotions was, and then, of course, everything just blended in. And that's been like 2.5 years. And I've been promoting, I think, the top amateur show in the state.
Okay.
If you go to any show, they don't even compare. Some of the shows I go to, I'm falling asleep. That's how boring they are. My shows are action. You're going to see a tap out. You're going to see a knockout. You're going to see a knockdown. Very few of them go the distance. And then I said, I'm going to devise something a little different. So I called the New Jersey KAP Amateur Championships. And in 2012, I will not be doing preliminary fights. All of them will be championship fights.
Okay.
I want to find class guys. And also 2012, hopefully I'll promote my first world championship. And my thing is to find other fighters. There's so many fighters there that'll never get there, because you can't have one promoter. You can't have one car dealer. You can't have one store. Most guys can't have one girlfriend. So you need more promoters than one, because there's so many fighters that need opportunities. So I'm hoping that I can open up the door for a lot of fighters to get the opportunities by being an outstanding promoter. And another thing I like to say, if I had a guy like Anderson Silva, he'd get paid millions. That boy is worth $1 million when he fight.
Yeah.
But they giving him bits and pieces because there's only one promoter. He don't have no place else to go. If they market him right, oh man, he could be, not just him, you got Pierre. There's a few guys. If I had one of them, oh my goodness. It'd be like the resurfacing of Muhammad Ali type thing, Remember how the fights, he used to fight every 3 months. I remember he used to fight on NBC every 3 months, And then Don King took it to another level. I know I'm going to different things, but I know the whole history. Don King took it to another level. Bob Arum was only paying Ali like maybe $2 million. Don King came with a deal with him and George Foreman for $5 million apiece and took it to our homeland. That's what can be done in mixed martial art. And that's what I hope to do. It may not be some of the champions that's out there, but I believe there's so many guys that's looking and say, I can whip this guy. I just need an opportunity, and those are the guys I'm looking for.
So when you said you're only going to do championship bouts, how will you deem guys worthy? Will you go around scouting them and seeing how they fight, if they can match up to the champion that you already have?
Well, because this is a new sport and some of them come from distance, I can't go to all these places. I take their words.
Okay.
I take their word. Just like boxing. I mean, guys didn't go and see all the fighters all the time or promote it. But the guy may say, hey, listen, I whipped this guy, they've been ducking me. And he said, okay, let me see you fight. So you put him in a fight. If he's a bum, he's going to get tapped out. He's going to get beat up. So I think by having a strong reputation, KAP reputation is so strong, guys know if they can't fight, they're not going to come to the plate. They're not going to tell me, well, I could whip this guy. Because they can view my website, they can see some of the fighters on there. And they say, oh, man, I can't deal with this guy. But they'll look at that and say, hey, I can handle him. I've been waiting for a fight like that. That's the guy I'm looking for.
Okay.
So I'll be scouting them like that. But I will go to see fighters. I go in the gym and see the way they train and everything, and seeing how they spar, and then I get a good idea of possibly, their ability.
So how many champions do you plan on having?
Well, in the KAP, there's about 12 categories that I can have. Weight categories, from flyweight to super heavyweight. So I may have 12 champions eventually. Here the phone going again.
Keep going. I'll keep rolling. I'll keep rolling.
Where's that phone? Where's the phone? Okay. Hold up. All right, so I'm making. This must be Khalil. Oh, I got that fax on still. Khalil,